Good evening. Meralco electricity rates will increase this January due to higher generation charges. According to Meralco, power rates will increase by 8 centavos per kilowatt hour, bringing the overall electricity rate of a typical household to 11 pesos and 34 centavos per kilowatt hour. This is equivalent to an increase of 17 pesos in the total bill of a customer consuming 200 kilowatt hours a month. Meralco says the power rate hike is attributed to higher generation charges, which is the cost of power purchased from suppliers that accounts for more than 50% of the total bill. A lawmaker says drivers would need to earn around 6,000 to 7,000 pesos a day due to the high cost of modern jeepneys. One Rider Party List Representative Bonifacio Bosita reveals this figure during the House Committee on Transportation's hearing as he asks the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board about the cost of updated jeepneys under the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. Bosita's question stems from his worry that drivers may not be able to meet the required loan payments for the modern jeepneys.
Ang tanong po sa LTFRB, napag-aralan po ba natin na kapag in-implement itong Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, magkano po dapat ang pamasahe ng mga commuters para ma-meet yung at least 7,000 pesos per day, more or less?
LTFRB officials say they have not considered fare increases to fund jeepney drivers and operators' loan payments, noting that the current baseline cost of 15 pesos would stay. According to LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadez III, while modernized jeepneys cost 1.6 million pesos to 2.4 million pesos, local manufacturers offer upgraded units at 980,000 pesos. But Bosita maintains the LTFRB should also consider how much jeepney fares would rise because drivers and operators need to find ways to pay off their loans.
Mr. Chair, with respect to LTFRB, kung hindi po ako nagkakamali dito sa aking analysis, kung 15 pesos na pamasahe sa pampasaherong jeep, hindi po kayang ma-implement ito or ma-avail ng ating mga babayan para bayaran ang lahat ng mga obligasyon sa halagang 15 pesos. Kung wala ang LTFRB na assessment, Mr. Chief, based on my personal evaluation, magiging 30 to 40 pesos ang pamasahe ng ating mga kababayan para makover yung mga dapat bayaran.
President Bongbong Marcos says the Philippines and Jakarta are eyeing an energy agreement. Marcos and Indonesian President Joko Widodo on Wednesday witnessed the exchange of a memorandum of understanding on energy cooperation between their two countries. According to the Department of Energy, the Philippines and Indonesia agreed to facilitate cooperation of their businesses during times of critical supply constraints on energy commodities. The agreement comes a week after Visayas Island has suffered wide blackouts due to the alleged negligence of the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. While not binding, the Memorandum of Understanding indicates that two parties share an intent. The Philippine Coast Guard says it conducted another successful rotation and resupply mission in its outposts in the West Philippine Sea in the first few days of 2024. PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Hill Gavan says the BRP Cabra and BRP Sindangan conducted the activity from January 3 to 9 at Lawak Island, Panatag Island, and Pag-asa Island. Gavan adds that the Coast Guard facilities in the three areas will be upgraded this year. Meanwhile, PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armand Balido says China Coast Guard vessels were spotted monitoring the resupply mission, but it is not yet clear if there are incidents reported between the two Coast Guards. Senator Robin Padilla calls on the public to support the People's Initiative being pushed to amend the 1987 Constitution. In a statement, Padilla says the time is ripe to amend the 1987 Constitution, expressing support for the People's Initiative. As chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes, Padilla led a charter change push in the upper chamber through a constituent assembly. The move did not prosper in the Senate. However, Cha-Cha talks have been revived following the reported move to have the amendments through the People's Initiative. A People's Initiative is one of the three methods to amend the 1987 Constitution, the other two being Constitutional Convention and Constituent Assembly. Padilla adds that the People's Initiative should not be twisted by some politicians to suit their ambition. The senator says he believed Congress should first resolve how they should vote on proposed amendments to the Constitution. According to Padilla, if it is a joint voting, the 24 senators would be rendered irrelevant by 300-plus members of the House of Representatives. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. President Bongbong Marcos and Indonesian President Joko Widodo discuss issues in the South China Sea. Meralco to increase electricity rates this January due to higher generation charges. And PCG conducts another successful resupply mission in the West Philippine Sea. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.